Marinaro Sig Podcast talking NFL. Big one tonight. San Francisco at Tennessee. Brought to you by Cherry River Hard Seltzer. Only 90 calories, natural flavors, no preservatives. Now available in Quebec grocery stores and at the beer store as well. The number one NFL fantasy expert in the world. Until proven otherwise. Adam Rank, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing very well, but I had way too many shares of Tom Brady this season, and it ultimately cost me in a number of leagues.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you know what? I should have looked ahead for the playoff schedule. I know that Tom Brady had struggled against, although he played very well against the Saints earlier this season. He had 4 touchdowns against them. I thought that it was going to be an opportunity to not do as great, but still started him. I didn't expect him to go out there and not score a single point on the board in reality. His first shutout in forever. It was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of the Bucks, Le'Veon Bell. What do you think?
Man, you know what? I think they just want some depth at the position. I think that one of the reasons they brought in Giovanni Bernard is they wanted him to be that pass catching back, and for lack of a better term, like be a James White type of receiver for them. The interesting thing that developed over the last month or so was that Leonard Fournette became a really good receiver out of the backfield to the point that when Giovanni Bernard went down, they didn't really miss a beat because Leonard Fournette was so good as a receiver out of the backfield. And to me, missing Chris Godwin is going to be huge. But I think that missing Fournette as a receiver is something that could really impact this team. They need him back for the playoffs, obviously. And Le'Veon Bell is just there because I think that, they're tired. I think Tom is tired of seeing Keyshawn Vaughn and these guys drop passes. So, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I was watching the Hulu trailer for How I Met Your Father. It's cool to try to recapture the magic once again, but, it doesn't always work out.
Is it safe to say that he's going to be a good start, though, for your fantasy?
We're not starting him. I barely like starting Ronald Jones. Because Fournette was so great as a receiver out of the backfield, but you know what? There's so many injuries, and now Austin Eckler's in the COVID list. Like, you might have to start Ronald Jones, but it's not something that I would normally like to do.
With Dalvin Cook on the COVID protocol list, who are some good running backs to pick up?
Well, hopefully you've already had Alexander Madison on your roster. He was activated on Wednesday from the COVID list. He's ready to go. A couple of interesting notes here about the Minnesota Vikings is number one, Dalvin Cook, whenever he's gone, Alexander Madison has played great. And the Vikings don't timeshare at all. They go with whoever their top running back is. He gets the majority of the work. And so without Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison should have the same sort of workload. And at times, he's outperformed Dalvin Cook when he's been the solo back. So if you have him, then I think you start him without any hesitation.
Man, do I like your shirt that you're wearing today. I can't get my eyes. I look at that beautiful Chicago shirt. Very, very nice. A.J. Brown, let me talk to you about him. Is he a good start despite not being 100% healthy?
Well, I think that, they obviously need him. So I don't know if he's being rushed back or anything, but I will trust the Titans that if he's on the field, he's going to be available and ready to go. And he's had 9+ targets in 5 of his last 6 games. The 49ers' weakness is at the cornerback position, which, of course, could be, overcome by having a strong pass rush, which they do. And the Titans will be missing a couple of tackles. But I still expect the Titans to try to get the ball into the hands of Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, maybe some quicker passes to get him started, to get him going again. So I'd feel very comfortable starting A.J. Brown if you have him tonight.
Kyler Murray, he's been struggling. Would you feel comfortable starting him against a tough Colts defense?
Yeah, this is not an ideal situation. And it's something that we saw last year where he struggled down the stretch. This Cardinals team looked like a lock to make the playoffs at the end of last year. They lost 3 consecutive games at the end of the season. The Bears snuck into the playoffs. And I'm not saying that the same thing is going to happen this year, but we're starting to see a repeatable pattern with Kyler Murray not being able to stand up through the course of a season. And it's crazy, too, because they played very well when Colt McCoy was the quarterback. Not that they should go to him, but I think that when you look at the quarterback situation right now, there's a lot of the quarterbacks. It's just not good. There's no reason. I don't know who you would start over Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
I think
I hear
Kyler
you.
Murray is a top 10 guy by default. It's not that somebody's playing better than him. It's just like there's just not a lot of options, and there's a lot of good players who aren't playing well. So I think if you have Kyler Murray, even in a difficult matchup, you have to start him.
Murray, Rodgers, Brady, Fields, Allen, a lot of great quarterbacks in this league. And if you want to pick up their jersey, sportbuffshop.com for all of your officially licensed sports apparel and even our sick merchandise.
Yeah, buddy.
You can use code 615 for 15% off on all of their items. Seeing as you're wearing your beautiful Chicago t-shirt today, let me ask you about the Bears head coaching job next season, because for me, there's a number one candidate, and I'm wondering, and name me the first person who comes off the top of your head, and then I'll name you the first person who comes off the top of my head, and we'll see if it's the same person. Or actually,
is this realistic? Is it realistic?
Hold on a second. I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper. This way I can tell you whether it was the same person. Okay, here we go. I'm writing it. Number one coaching candidate could be?
Oh, my gosh.
As my can just went flying?
Oh, man. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. I hope that you actually, I don't know if that's an omen or whatever it is.
It's good.
I'm going to say one, whether it's realistic or not, we can debate. But to me, it makes a lot of sense. And I would say that with everything that's happened in New Orleans, with the quarterback situation being as it is, I think if they could somehow find a way to get Sean Payton to come back home. Remember, Sean Payton is a former Bears quarterback. I would love for them to try to find a way to bring in Sean Payton. I don't know if it's realistic. I don't know if it's possible, but that would be my choice. Doug Peterson is also a very interesting. Listen, that's also a very interesting one too. Like, we've already started to hear whispers that Jacksonville could be in the mix for him. Tom Pelissero reported last week on Good Morning Football Weekend that perhaps, Doug Peterson is in Florida playing golf right now if he's ready to go. To me, I think Doug Peterson is great. The only question I have, and this is going to come up during the interview process, is the way his tenure ended in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
How much of it was dependent on Frank Reich, who is now the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts, who might be the best team in the AFC right now. So it's an interesting name. Pie in the sky, shooting for the moon. I would try to get Sean Payton away from New Orleans, but obviously Doug Peterson would be somebody I would consider, especially because the Bears want to bring in somebody who has NFL head coaching experience. Yeah,
Ian Rappaport coming up. Before I get to Ian, I want to do rapid fire with you, which I'll do with Ian later on as well. So you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Titans 49ers, who you got?
I've got the Titans in a bounce back game. This is one they have to win. I know they've got injuries, but I love the Titans tonight.
Colts Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I know that I was just running them down, talking about how it's been a difference. But again, I'm going to start leaning towards teams that are desperate for victories, which the Cardinals absolutely are. So I'm going to say that they win a squeaker.
Here's a biggie. Bills Pats.
You know what? I think the Bills go in there and win. I think that what we saw for that stretch with the New England Patriots was great, and it's a testament to what a great coach Bill Belichick is. But I think now, after losing earlier, I think the pressure's kind of off the Bills, and they can kind of go back to playing a little bit more loose. Josh Allen, the last time he played in New England, actually had a really nice game. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen and the Bills.
Rams Vikings.
Rams. Definitely the Rams. The Vikings should have lost. Listen, I know I sound like a bitter Bears fan, which I am. They should have been destroyed in that game. And I think that the Rams go in there, handle their business. I think Stafford bounces back, although Stafford was fine against the Seahawks. Stafford bounces back and the Rams beat them.
Ravens Bengals.
You know what? I picked the Ravens. And I know a lot of people were upset. My Twitter mentions have been lit up by Bengals fans. But
welcome to my world.
But listen, I can't imagine a scenario where the Ravens lose 4 consecutive games. They've lost 3 by a grand total of 4 points. They're going to bounce back. The Ravens are going to.
Their coach is probably responsible for 2 of them, by the way. Broncos Raiders.
I think I picked the Raiders. I'm going to go with the Raiders in that one.
Steelers Chiefs.
Chiefs. Even with all the COVID news, I still think the Chiefs should handle them.
And Cowboys Washington.
You know what? I know that everybody. Listen, I'm going to go with Washington. Ask Cash about this one. I'm very interested.
I will.
I can't wait. I want Cash's input on this because I really do believe that I think Washington bounces. Washington always plays well in Dallas too. So
Adam, enjoy your football, and I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, bud. It's always fun talking to you.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. This has been fun this year, and look forward to talking to you next week.
Love your shirt, buddy. All right. Ian Rappaport coming up.
Word on the street with Rap Sheet.
How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
Good. I'm just trying to put back my can, which had fallen off. All right.
I saw you knocked it over. Yeah.
All right. With the NFL Network, the number one insider in the game, there's plenty to talk about. The Saints are starting rookie Ian Book this week. What can we expect from him, in your opinion?
I have no idea. It's unbelievably fascinating. And it's weird for me this year. You know, there's been a lot of COVID things that have been bad. I mean, players in and out. Obviously, you never want to hear anyone struggling health-wise, although certainly it seems this latest iteration of COVID-19 does not affect people severely, seems a lot milder. Almost everyone who is vaccinated has, little to no symptoms, which is good. But still, you don't want anyone to get sick. That said, it has led to some really interesting things. Garrett Gilbert playing an actual game and starting. Ian Book for the Saints starting on Monday night. And he had a great college career. The Saints really like him. They like his sort of moxie. They like the way he's a gamer. Arm strength is fine, but he's a tough little dude. I have no idea what to expect. But I was just thinking about this. And it's not like I'm excited because of the COVID stuff. But it really does lend to some fascinating TV watching. We would not get to see this guy.
Yeah.
And now in a very important game, we really do.
Yeah, for sure. Pro Bowl teams announced. Are there any snubs in your opinion?
Cordell Patterson not getting on there as a running back was a big time snub for me. I was surprised about that. I would say that that certainly is one. No Matthew Stafford, another one, kind of surprised me. And not that he's been like a world beater, but like so much hype and publicity. I sort of thought he would be on there. I mean, those to me are probably my two biggest snubs. There's some good ones, like Rashawn Slater is a first-year player as a left tackle, making it like he should be on there. Those are the ones I like to see when it's not like, oh, rookie, you got to wait your turn. It's like you deserve to be on there. You should be on there. Micah Parsons on there. Jamar Chase on there. I thought it was a pretty good list. I have a lot fewer snubs this year than I do usually.
Leonard Fournette, what are we hearing? Out for the rest of the regular season, back for the playoffs?
I would say that's the most likely scenario. He has not been placed. He has not been placed on injured reserve, and you'd think if they needed a roster spot, they would do it. Remember, this year's a little different because it's not like you need roster spots. You can, promote guys from the practice squad endlessly. Yeah. So, my guess is they probably just leave him on the active roster, probably out 2 games. And then, if you need him for the 3rd game, which would be the season finale, if they got to have it, then he probably plays. But, the only thing that matters, honestly, is are they going to be ready for the playoffs?
You're right.
That is very good.
Like the same thing with the Tennessee Titans, of course, and Derrick Henry. I mean, it could be a blessing in disguise in Tennessee, and it could be a blessing in disguise in Tampa Bay. That is if Tennessee makes the playoffs, because they got a real big one tonight, which I'm going to ask you about in a second.
They do.
But before I do, the Pats versus the Bills this week. Cole Beasley's on the COVID list. Is he eligible to return?
Not this Sunday. He is unvaccinated. If you are unvaccinated, you are out 10 days. So he is out 10 days. And, there are a lot of reasons to get vaccinated. I'm sure there were reasons that Cole Beasley decided to not get vaccinated. Certainly, he received a lot of education about it and decided to go his own route, which I guess is fine. Everyone's allowed to do, I guess, whatever they want within the rules, right? But it hurts his team dramatically because had he been vaccinated, there was a chance he would have cleared the list and been off it, within 6 days or something like that. Instead, certainly not to be for Cole Beasley. So yeah, he is out this Sunday, and I don't know, the biggest game of the Bills season.
College football just announced that if a team is unable to play due to COVID, that they're going to have to forfeit. Could you see the
No.
the NFL taking the same approach
No.
going forward?
Only if it's due to a vast number of unvaccinated players. So, like, I don't understand that. I mean, I covered college football in the past. I love
Yeah.
college football. I don't get it. So, like, players are vaccinated, they've received their boosters. If 30 of them test positive in a global pandemic, but have no symptoms and followed protocols, like, you really want to penalize them? Like, what are we, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? I don't know. I got a lot of problems with that. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but I thought that was ridiculous.
As of today, right now, Thursday, December 23rd in the afternoon, where's Cooper Kupp on your MVP watch?
You know, I would not say he's very high. He is a great player, and he is a Pro Bowl easy player. He is an all-pro player, but I don't think he's an MVP because to me, MVP is like your team cannot survive without him. And if he is not there, he changes things dramatically. Like, I think Jonathan Taylor and would be higher for me. Derrick Henry, had he been healthy, would have been higher for me. There's a bunch of quarterbacks that would have been higher.
Aaron Rodgers, without him, Green Bay's finished.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And he's playing great. Like, I don't know. To me, he's much higher for me. You know, even like Micah Parsons has been so key for Dallas. He's not going to get any votes, but he probably deserves more to me. But I love Cooper Kupp as a player. It's not saying that. It's just strictly the MVP.
So who's number one, Rodgers or Brady today?
Probably Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Yeah, probably Rodgers. I thought this would be a big push for Kyler Murray. Didn't seem like we're getting that push, though, which is interesting.
Tailed off over the last couple of weeks. All right, I did rapid fire with Adam, and I'd like to do rapid fire with you as well. Let's go through these quickly, and then we'll get to Cash, who's going to give us his picks. Let's go with Titans 49ers.
I love the game. I'm so excited for it. It's a weird, great matchup. Two teams that I think are going to both try to run the ball. 49ers are deep and physical, and they're going to pound it, and that is okay. We have not really, since Derrick Henry went out, Ryan Tannehill has been a different player. If the Titans are going to win, you're going to have to see a very, very good Ryan Tannehill tonight, which is possible.
I can't wait for this game tonight either. Your winner is?
Oh, geez. Probably the 49ers.
Colts, Cardinals.
I think the Colts. Cardinals look like they're going in the wrong direction. And it's weird because you and I have spent so much time talking about, like, the Cardinals going to do what they did last year. And then, like, I could tell you no as many times as I want because I thought they were good. Colt McCoy started. They went 2-1 without Kyler Murray. And then they're back in the same position again. So they have to win. I just don't think they're going to because the Colts are tough and physical too. And that's really who wins in December.
A couple of weeks ago, the Pats humiliated the Bills by basically running the ball all game, only attempting like 3 passes or whatever it was. They're probably going to try and do the same. Do the Bills lose to the Pats this time again?
I'd say probably not. You know, usually the right team ends up winning, right? So I thought the weather was weird last time. Patriots had a strange strategy. It was awesome, but it was strange. Weird game. And the Bills were pissed off, and they sounded pissed off, and McDermott didn't give credit to Belichick, and there was a lot of weird stuff going on there. I think they bounce back, and they need to because they're a team that, you know, should be a Super Bowl ready team, and to do that, you got to win games like this.
I remember at the end of the game, they didn't like fielding questions from the reporters either. The defense felt like they were being humiliated, and they said, "We'll remember what you're saying." Rams, Vikings.
Dalvin Cook is not going to play. He is out due to COVID because he is an unvaccinated player. So either way, he is out for 5 days or 10 days. But either way, he's out 5 days. You know, that makes it tough for me. That makes it tough for the Vikings to win. Even though they have Alexander Madison, I would say Vikings probably do not win.
Ravens, Bengals.
I think it's just too many obstacles for the Ravens. You know, they got a lot of players out with COVID. They probably won't have Lamar Jackson again. Probably Tyler Huntley, again, who acquitted himself well. Just,
I thought he played well.
I thought he played well too, but, you know, at some point, you know, it's just going to all catch up with him, and I think that's going to be the case here.
Broncos, Raiders.
It's going to be Drew Lock getting the start. We've been all waiting for him this year. It's been all Bridgewater, but I think the Raiders, who I sort of left for dead, I think the Raiders end up winning this. Probably an up and down battle for Drew Lock, I would say.
Steelers, Chiefs.
Chiefs have a bunch of COVID issues. I'd like to know who they get back. Do they get Travis Kelce back, for instance? Do they get Tyreek Hill back? But let's say it just stays like this and they don't get anybody back. I think probably Steelers. And, I could see a situation where Kansas City gets up early, Roethlisberger turns it on, really starts making plays at the end and ends up winning. Like we've seen that formula throughout the year. I think we're going to see it again.
And an ending, Cowboys, Washington?
I think the Cowboys win. Washington's too beat up in a lot of different ways. Cowboys doesn't seem like have been playing good football for about a month or so, but I think they put it together and end up doing it on Sunday.
Ian, I'll tell you something you already know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It's an honor talking football with you every week. I wish you and yours all the very best. Merry Christmas, bud.
I love talking to you too. Have a great Christmas as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's now time for us to make some money. That would make it a very Merry Christmas. Let's try. Cash, what's going on?
What's happening, man? I'm excited for tonight's game.
All right, make me some money because I spent a lot of it on Christmas gifts already. There's very little left in my pocket. I need some money, Cash. Make me some money.
Yeah, I got a pick right off the bat, and it's not going to make the producers happy, but I'm loyal to my bank account, and I'm loyal to money in my pocket. Right away, guys, I'm looking at the San Francisco 49ers on the money line. I think they're going to get there. I think they're going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be close. The Titans have issues with their offensive linemen. Guys, it's going to be an ugly game. Nick Bosa is going to get pressure. In my opinion, this guy might be the defensive player of the year. Give me the 49ers on the money line. I don't think it's close. Here's the thing, guys, and this is the thing that Adam Rank said. He said it perfectly. Tannehill's going to have to throw the ball, and the 49ers have a weakness in the secondary, but that can be neutralized like we saw in the last Super Bowl. If you get pressure on the quarterback, like what's going to happen today, like Nick Bosa is going to be there, Armstead's going to be there, it can get ugly for Tannehill. He's not going to be able to get the ball out. Give me the 49ers on a big bet. Tony, I saw you and Adam were talking about the Cowboys and the Washington.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the spread's 10.5, and a lot of the public's going to look for the 10.5 with Washington, especially because the Saints were 10.5 point underdogs against the Bucks, and look what happened. Brady got shut out, right? Everyone's going to be looking at the dog. I like the Cowboys, guys. It's not even about the offense; it's about the defense. This defense is number one against the pass. They're elite. I love this team. Give me a Super Bowl future on these guys. These guys are legit. They're going to come here clean Washington. It's not going to be close. I'm honestly, I might not even watch this game. I think it's going to get really ugly. Third pick for you guys. Ravens +3. I love it. I think Tyler Huntley's legit. I don't know if he's Lamar, but this guy's good. John Harbaugh, he's been getting a lot of flack for going for 2. I actually think it was the right call. Verdict can still be out on that.
Well, I don't think it's ever the right call when it doesn't work out. It's the right call when it works out.
Well, and it's put them in a rough spot. So I still like them +3. I like them on the money line. I think they get it done, guys. These are still the Bengals. The Bengals have been great this year, but we're still talking about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about an elite football team that's made the playoffs, I think 6 years in a row. They have a Super Bowl this decade. Give me the Ravens +3. This is the game of their season. This is probably the most important game of their season. One last game, guys. Christmas game. Browns and the Packers. I'm looking at the Browns +7.5. It's going to be unlikely they make the playoffs, but if they need a game, it's this game. They don't have a choice. They got to win this game. Give me the 7.5 points. I think it's too many. The Browns get there and cover the number. But, guys, the most important bet I want everybody making is the San Francisco 49ers on the money line. It is my favorite pick I've had in a while.
All right, so there you have it. 4 picks from my buddy Cash. At Run My Bets is his handle. 49ers, Cowboys, Ravens, Browns. On the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Browns, he's got 1 unit. On the 49ers, he's got 3 units. That's his whale play. He's my buddy Cash. Make me some cash. I spent all of it for Christmas. See you, bud. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Tony.
Marinaro, the Sick Podcast. Merry Christmas, everyone. Enjoy your